All right, guys, welcome back to TCG&Whiskey. We're Mark and Tom. We're going over UFC Fight Night London. All right, first let's say thank you to our sponsor, Tampa Bless, home of Team Do Good, TampaBless.com for more information on that. Guys, we got a great card here. UFC really hooked this one up. We're going to start right off with the main event. Alexander Volkov, rank 6, 33 years old. He's 34-9, and he's coming off a win against Marcin Tybura. And he's coming right before that. He had that loss against Cyril Gane. Good fight, though. Competitive fight. He's going up against surging newcomer Tom Aspinall. He's ranked number 11. Guy's 28 years old. I just mentioned to Tom before, the UFC has a ton of young, good prospects coming up, man. They are really farming them right. Whatever they're doing, they really are. There's a lot of young guys. Well, Aspinall, 28 years old. He's 11-2. He's on that 7-fight win streak, last beating Sergey Spivak and Andrei Arlovsky. And one of his losses was a disqualification. Just want to throw that out there. So truly, he's only got one loss super early on. I think it was 2015 or so. Tom, how do you see this one cracking up? I know you're a big fan of Volkov. He's been getting better. Does he beat the veteran here? Does he take down the surging prospect?
Well, first off, I got to say, I had to rock the dubs. Up the dubs, St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. It's a St. Patrick's Day week, my friend. I know it's UFC London, but the Irish are coming, my friends. It's like a holy day of obligation. Alexander Volkov, the Russian, 33 on one side, 6'6" in height. He holds a 2-inch reach advantage over the Brit, Tom Aspinall, 28 years old, 6'4" in height. Alexander Volkov, 34-9-0, UFC 8-3. Alexander's got quite a skill set. Brown belt in Shushin Gen, brown belt in Kyokushin Karate, and a brown belt in BJJ. He's coming off a unanimous decision win over Marcin Tybura in October 2021. Aspinall on the other side, 11-2-0, UFC 4-0. He's coming off a TKO elbows and punches win over Sergey Spivak in September 2021. And we know Spivak's tough. He just annihilated Greg Hardy.
Retired him.
Tom Aspinall is also a black. Yeah. Well, at least from the UFC he did. And Aspinall is a black belt in BJJ. He has a pro boxing record also of 1-0. This is a great matchup. I don't know how much this Ukraine-Russia thing has taken any toll or whatnot on Volkov's training or anything like that. I think it is worth noting just because I'm not 100% how it's affected him. I'm not exactly sure how the crowd in England may react. I hope, not too hostile, but hey, it's not my call. They're going to do what they do. But I don't know if that could come into play. I just want to mention it. All right. I'm sure, Aspinall, his stand-up's nasty, but Volkov's stand-up's nasty. I almost think that Aspinall might want to attempt for the takedown, but as we know, that's not easy. The only person who really took Volkov down with success was Curtis Blades.
And that was pre him putting on a lot of weight. Volkov has gotten way bigger, boy. He understood after that fight he's got to be a heavyweight, not a medium weight there. The guy is big now.
And Volkov, to me, seems like he just keeps getting better. Aspinall as well. But Volkov, to me, keeps getting better. I thought Volkov gave Cyril Gane his best fight other than, of course, where Gane lost to Francis Ngannou. But I thought that Volkov gave him a nice match. I mean, yes, Volkov did lose, but I thought Volkov, that was a nice striking match. A lot of people might have said, Volkov got beat pretty good. But to me, I thought he did fared pretty well. He just needed to let his hands go more. He was focused too much on kicking. If he could mix it up a little bit better, I think his chances go up. You know what? I'm going to go. I think Volkov does need to watch out for one thing, getting slept or getting rocked hard enough to where Tom Aspinall now jumps on you and goes for a sub like he did against Andrei Arlovsky. That was a close match. Like Arlovsky was right in it until he ended up getting rocked and Tom just jumped on him. I'm going to go with Alexander here, man. I'm going with Volkov. I'm going with Volkov by decision.
This is honestly, this is a really tough decision. This is easily the stiffest competition that Aspinall has faced yet, and Volkov looks to be at a career best in every aspect. He put on that weight, that size. When he lets his hands go, I agree, he is very hard to beat, and he's got very good takedown defense now. He really, really worked on that. I think Tom, though, has the speed advantage. It may be enough to give Volkov some fits. We saw Gane kind of get in and out, and Aspinall has that same kind of footwork and speed. It's not quite as good as Gane's, but it's right there. I think more or less this, I may be taking Aspinall, but this may be a good live betting opportunity if we see like a third round. I think that really starts to favor Volkov, actually. We haven't seen Tom get out of the first couple rounds. The guy is just that talented, let alone get into a 5-round brawl with a guy. Especially, Volkov is surging in a way himself. He's got a few bad beats, but he's really beating a lot of guys recently. I think Gane laid that footwork down. Easier said than done, though. In and out. Don't stand at range with Volkov. He'll pick you apart. I got to go with Aspinall here. I think he's got the power advantage. I think he's got the speed advantage. He's not that much shorter. As you mentioned, you got him at 6'4". I've seen some listing him at 6'5". We all know there's discrepancies in all those things. Volkov's pretty commonly listed at 6'6", so it's not a huge discrepancy there. The reach is...
And the reach isn't that much either.
Pretty close. And Aspinall, I'm sure, has a BJJ advantage. His father, I believe, is a BJJ teacher. So I'm sure he's always in the gym practicing that. The guy's very well-rounded for a newcomer. Crazy, 28 years old, how talented he is. I'm taking him. I think he's going to finish Volkov. I think it's going to be a second-round finish. That's where he takes the veterans in there. That's my pick. I think it's really close. I definitely could see Volkov winning. The guy is very talented in his own right. This is very tough. We've seen Volkov beat a lot of newcomers. I think Gane kind of laid the footwork. In and out. Don't play around. Now, the card market, Volkov printed in 2018 is not very available, but he is cheap. Take a look for him. He's pretty hard to find. I think he's got the skills and he's getting better. He's still young enough as a heavyweight where he really could progress to be a champ one day. I mean, it's going to be tough, but he is that talented, I got to say. If he can put it all together and be the champ, I got to hold on him because we got to see if he can do that, if he can get by Aspinall here and everything. He needs this win to stay at top. He could be a sneaky pickup, though, if you think he gets this win. I tell you that right now. Aspinall, on the other hand, he's only been printed in the Panini Instant. I don't really regard that as a true rookie card. Most collectors don't regard that as a true rookie card. We know he's coming in Prism this year. There's no question. They got to be crazy not to. I think you got to put a buy on this guy. 28 years old, heavyweight with all the talent and the power. How do you not put a buy on this guy? I'm sure he's printed, and I'm sure I'm going to be looking for him. That's my picks. Let's move right on. We got already making the news pre-fight here. Lightweight battle. PADDY, the BADDY Pimlet. 27-17-3 on that 3-fight winning streak. He got his UFC debut against Luigi Venturini, and he got in PADDY fashion. It looked like PADDY was about to get slept, and then he takes that guy out. It was an amazing fight if you haven't seen it. Just the crowd is going to go nuts. I think that favors PADDY. PADDY's never been knocked out, so you know he's got that solid chin. He's going up against Kazula Vargas Rodrigo, some people might call him. He's 36 years old. He's 12-4, and he's lost 2 of his last 3, but he beat Zhu Rong in his last one. Tom, does PADDY have a shot at losing this one?
Of course. Anybody could lose. But we got PADDY Pimlet, the British, on one side. 27 years old, 5'8" in height, holds a 1.5-inch reach advantage over the Mexican, Rodrigo Vargas, 36 years old, 5'7" in height. You know, PADDY's 3 in a row. He's 1-0 in the UFC, 17-3-0 overall, 1-0 in the UFC, but he's 3-0 if you include other promotions leading up to this. He's coming off that round 1 KO win over Luigi Vendramini in September 2021. Other side, Rodrigo Vargas, 12-4-0, UFC 1-2, coming off that unanimous decision win over Rong Zhu, April 2021, basically a year ago. So Rodrigo has been out of the cage for about a year. You know, it's St. Paddy's Day week, and although Paddy's British, he's got the name. I got to roll with Paddy for sure. I agree the place is going to be off the chain. I think it's also going to be in favor of Aspinall as well. I forgot to mention that in the first fight, but that's definitely a factor. I know people are thinking a punch out here. I think it will start like that, but I think someone is going to get rocked a little bit, or it could lead to a mount. I'm going with, it starts on the feet, obviously. Punches, Paddy, they exchange. No one's really out, but there's a slight edge to Paddy. Paddy goes for the mount. Rear naked choke, round one.
Yeah, this is the Paddy show.
Pinley.
Paddy show right here. I think Paddy's got him outclassed pretty much everywhere. High-level ground game from Paddy. A lot of people forget about that. That's what he was winning with in Cage Warriors. He's got better stand-up, and we know you're not just getting Paddy Pimblett out of there. The dude has a chance, and I think that's Vargas' only chance, so it's going to be a tough one. Vargas has Zhu as his only victory in the UFC, and Zhu really didn't fight for the first couple rounds, and it was a decision. If you go back and watch it, I just watched it the other day, really, Zhu just kind of stood there in headlights, kept trying to talk to his corner. He looked really bad, and Vargas was just tapping him, just getting points. And by the time Zhu actually started fighting, he had already went down. It was too late for him, basically. He let that one go. He could have easily, I think, won it, but that was his fault for just sitting there like a deer in headlights. Now, so that's his one victory. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't think Kazula's been, Vargas there has been knocked out either. I don't think so, but I think this is going to be his first time getting knocked out. Paddy Pimblett KOs him round number 2. It's hard to get Mexicans down in round number 1. The guy's got some heart. He's 36, feels like a setup fight to me. Paddy, the crowd is just going to go nuts. The dude is going to be electric. I'm going to go nuts sitting home at my couch when Paddy comes out. Love the guy. The guy's he's already getting in fight. You got to watch out. He's already getting in fights with Illa. I mean, it's crazy. I love it. I love it. Gotta love Paddy. Now, Paddy also has only been printed in the Panini Instant. I just went over that. Don't feel that's a true rookie card. I did buy those, though. I do have some because I'm a Pimblett fan. This dude's got the hype. He's got the patented triple buy rating from me right now. They're setting this guy up for the win. This dude's going to explode when he gets released in prison this year. There's no question he's getting printed. Buy Paddy Pimblett as soon as you can get him. Now, Vargas, we don't know if he's printed. Probably doesn't even get printed. Maybe he does. Maybe he gets a lucky win here or something like that. But you got to put a sell on Vargas. He's 36. He's 1-2 just starting out. I mean, you can't discredit anybody, but he has a really tough battle to try to get anywhere at 36 in the lightweight division. It's not going to be easy. Now, moving right on, we got another battle. Featherweights. Arnold Allen, ranked 7. The kid's 28. He's 17-1, and he's on a 10-fight winning streak, beating Super Sadiq, Nick Glentz, Gilbert Melendez. Guy's talented. He's going up against Dan Hooker, ranked number 8. Guy's 32 years old. He's 21-11. He's lost 3 of his last 4, but we're talking he's losing to monsters. Islam Makhachev, Chandler, Dustin Poirier. Tom, this is an intriguing fight. Now, I just going to mention it here. Dan Hooker's a lightweight. He's going down to 145 for this fight because he's still, I don't believe he's really allowed back in New Zealand, so he's just hanging out, taking fights wherever he can. What do you see happening here?
All right, you got Arnold Allen, the Brit, on one side. Crowd likely to be in his favor as well. 28 years old, 5'7" in height. The Kiwi, Dan Hooker, on the other side, 32 years old, 6 feet, even in height, 5-inch reach advantage for Dan. 17-1-0, Arnold. UFC 8-0. He's the longest winning UFC streak right now, the longest win streak in the UFC. He's coming off a unanimous decision win over Super Sadiq in April 2021. He also hasn't been in the cage in almost a year. He's a purple belt in BJJ, and he has a kickboxing record of 3-0. Dan on the other side, 21-11-0, UFC 11-7-0. He's a purple belt in BJJ, and he's coming off a submission loss to Islam in 2021 where he just got mauled. You know, I like this matchup. I got Allen, though, extended to 9 wins in a row by decision. But, you know, it could go either way. I know Dan could use it. He could use a W. His back's got to feel slightly against the wall.
Yeah, I think these guys are very similar in style. I think they have a lot of good movements. They both have a lot of weird jerky movements to the side and everything like that. I think they both have very good knees. I just think this might be Allen's first UFC loss here. I'm taking the other side. I think Hooker has a way bigger experience edge than Allen, which is huge. It's massive. Allen, home field advantage, though. Does that help him? We don't know. I don't know if this one goes to the judges. I think that we see a flying knee by Hooker. He gets them straight up in the air, and he gets a lot of guys.
I like it.
This is one that you got to wait for the weigh-ins, though. Like I said, this is why I'm really picking Hooker. Hooker is a big dude. I'm not sure how he's making 145. He is a lightweight, and he fights the best lightweights in the world. So this is a huge step up for Arnold Allen because this dude's bigger. This dude's more experienced. I got to give him the nod. And I like Allen. I mean, does Hooker have enough with that weight loss to go in there? That's why you really got to see him on the scale and stuff like that. Does he drain too much to make 145? That's my only concern right now. Otherwise, I really do.
Does he look like Conor McGregor at 145?
He looks like that, though. I've seen him right now. He already looks like that. He looks horrible. He looks horrible. Wow. I've seen him. I followed him on.
Yeah, because Conor looked.
I follow him on some social media. He looks horrible. So we got to see if he blows back up right away. Then he'll be so much bigger than Arnold Allen. Allen's like a smaller Hooker already. Now, as far as the card market goes, as good as Hooker is, he just can't seem to beat the top guys. The best wins he really has is Jim Miller, and he beat Paul Felder. Those are like the top guys he's really beaten. And I thought Felder won. I think the home advantage, the judges gave it. It was very close, but I did feel Felder had it.
The best walkouts that I can remember when Felder came out to Born in the USA in New Zealand, dude. The hair on my arms was just standing, dude. I thought
he won it. I agree. I've rewatched that fight. It was super close. So I did think he won. I also think that was partially a big reason why Felder retired was that loss. I know he lost one after that, but that one really set him back where he would have been climbing the ranks. Instead, he got put back down the ranks, and he realized he wasn't going to be able to compete for a belt.
Just like Dan at all.
I'm not ripping on Dan. I think Dan wins this one. It's got nothing to do with Dan. He got it. It's his. That's how it goes. That's why you can't leave it to the judges. That was a war. That was an amazing fight, though. So I'm not sold on either man as a buy. I got to hold on Allen, though, because with a win here, he does climb back up a little bit here. He always seems to get knocked down and then get a big win and get right back in the mix. He likes to fight. He doesn't turn down a lot of fights, you can tell. You know, you got to just both these guys, you got to just watch really closely. They both got to be, you know, you got to put a hold on them and just see where this one goes. All right, but moving right on, we got another pretty nice fight right here. We're going to the light heavyweights. We got Nikita Kurilov, ranked number 9. He's 30 years old. He's 27-8. He's lost 2 of his last 3. But again, his 3 losses are Magomed, Glover, and Blachowicz. It's really hard to judge a guy on losses to 2 guys that one's currently the champ, the other one was just the champ, and Magomed, a lot of people consider the best in the division. He's going up against one of my favorites, though, Paul Craig, ranked number 11. He's 34 years old. He's 15-4-1. And listen, this guy's on that 3-fight winning streak, beating Jamal Hill and Shogun Last. I mean, just shows you how good he is. And let's just mention that Magomed's only loss is to Paul Craig. Even if he was losing, he still got the dub. So that just shows you how good he really is. Tom, how do you see this one playing out here, though?
All right, you got Nikita Kurilov, the Ukrainian, 30 years old, 6'2" in height, 1.5-inch reach advantage over the Scotsman, Paul Craig, 34 years old, 6'2" in height, both the same height, at least as far as I have them listed. Nikita, 27, 8-0, UFC 12-6. He's coming off a unanimous decision loss to Magomed in February 2021. So it's been over a year since Nikita's been in the cage. He's a black belt and master of sports of Ukraine in Kyokushin karate, master of sports of Ukraine in hand-to-hand combat, and a master of sports in submission fighting. On the other side, Paul Craig, 15-4-1, UFC 7-4-1, coming off a TKO elbows and punches win over Jamaha Hill in June 2021. He's a black belt in BJJ and a decorated competitor in BJJ representing Scotland. Kickboxing record 1-0 for Paul Craig. He's got 3 wins in a row, but hasn't lost in his last 5 because he has 4 wins and a draw. So it's been a minute since Paul Craig has taken an L. You know, Nikita's Ukrainian. I don't know how big he's into it. That could be a motivating factor here. There should be plenty of Scottish in the crowd ready to represent for Paul Craig. It's pretty much almost, right there for them to get down to London. Where do I think it's going? I think, like I just said, both those two things could be balancing factors. All right. Over a year out of the cage could also play in for Nikita if he's a little rusty and Paul Craig just gets on him, especially anything on the ground. This could be explosive. I'm going with Paul Craig by round one submission.
Oh, okay. I like it. Round 1. That's a call right there. Honestly, this is another really tough call. I see why Nikita is the favorite in this one. He's got a chin, got a gas tank, got tons of skill everywhere. Ukraine's going to be rooting for him. It's good news just to get any of their people in the news and, some positive vibes for them. You got to look at him versus Johnny Walker. He eats elbows from Walker, and Walker was a knockout artist there for a minute, but he still gets the win. He wears down OSP, and he gets the win. The guy is good. This is a very tough matchup here. Paul Craig, though, he's pretty much as violent as they get. And he is, man. He's got the nose for the submissions, as you call it. He's got the win, the only win over Magomed Ankalaev. He's got Kennedy Nchukwe's first loss. He handed Jamal Hill his first loss. I think Nikita can get him knocked out if he can find it, but I think Craig finds a way to win. I do. I agree with you. I like him fighting close to home. I think, though, Nikita's going to box him up a little bit. Craig's going to shoot for some stuff. It's going to be violent for 2 rounds, and then I think Craig gets in the 3rd round for a sub when Nikita gets a little bit more tired, even though he's got a good gas tank. He'll be slippery. He'll be going for it. Craig doesn't care, man. He'll take guard. He'll pull guard. He's nuts like that. He wants to be on the ground, as you mentioned. I agree. I think Paul Craig gets the win here. It's not a very confident pick, but I think he gets it. Now, Nikita dates all the way back to 2014 in the card market. I can't put a buy rating on him, though. 2014, he's still not very well known. He needs to chain together a few wins, and it's going to be tough because it's all killers right where he sits. But to get a buy, you got to chain together those wins. Paul Craig, not printed, probably gets printed soon. We'll reevaluate him when he gets printed again. I like Paul Craig. A win here is a big win. A lot of people are going to be watching this card that normally don't watch, just with PADDY Pimlet and Aspinall and stuff like that. Now, moving right on to another monster prospect right here. We got Jai Herbert, 11-3, 33 years old, and he's coming off a win against Worthy, but he lost his 2 before that. And here is the prospect, Illa Topuria, 25 years old, 11-0. And he last beat Ryan Hall and Damon Jackson, and we just saw how good Damon Jackson is when he's on. And we know nobody wants to take Ryan Hall fights. Nobody wants to fight him. And he'll beat them both. He's moving up to lightweight for this one, though. That's a big thing. That's a big factor. Normally a featherweight, he's moving up Tom, what do you see happening here? If Ilya even makes it into this fight card, the guy's already going crazy. He wants to kill Paddy Pimblett. So it's it's good. It's good. He's gonna.
So you got Jay Herbert, or it might be a Bear. I'm not sure. Either way, the British, 33 years old, 6'1" in height. He holds an 8-inch reach advantage over Ilya Topuria. That's one of the biggest reach advantages I've ever seen. Ilya has an interesting background. He's German by birth, fighting out of Spain, but his nationality is listed as Georgian. Now, Jay, 11-3-0, UFC 1-2. He's coming off a round 1 win by strikes against Kama Worthy in October 2021. So he's got a little bit of momentum here. He got that win by strikes. It's always a nice feeling. Ilya on the other side, 11-0, UFC 3-0. He's about BJJ, and he's coming off a KO finish of Ryan Hall in July 2021. My pick, Jay's at home here, so that will definitely help. And the fact that he's likely going to be the bigger man.
He trains with some top guys, too. I believe Herbert trains with Leon Edwards over in their camp there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely good camp. That said, though, I got Ilya here by strikes round 1.
I like that. Okay, this is my most confident pick, man. I think Ilya is just dynamic in the cage. We've seen him. He's got every skill needed, and honestly, he already thinks he's the best in the world. This dude is power and speed all day. I mean, I think he's got a chin. He may get a small test right here, but I think he sleeps Herbert, like you mentioned, just like old man Trinaldo did. You go back and watch that fight. Trinaldo slapped him. Oh, my God. He looked dead. It was bad. Trinaldo.
Old man Trinaldo.
He's got skills, Trinaldo, man. Don't sleep on that dude. I don't know how old he is, but he's still right in it. So I hope we get out of the first one here so we see some action. But I don't think we do. I mean, I don't like to say experience advantage here, but Ilya, he's fighting stiff competition from day one. Like I mentioned, Jackson and Hall, they're not top guys, but they're two very good opponents here, and he's got wins over them. And it's not like he's sitting back and getting a crappy decision.
Dude, he mounted Ryan Hall, and then
that's what I mean.
Ground and pounded him. That's a very dangerous
so that's
thing
what I mean
to do.
with competition. I think he's facing stiffer competition right off the bat. The only problem with this is, how does Ilya look at lightweight when he's a natural featherweight? Right. Herbert's a natural lightweight. Is Ilya a little undersized when we see the weigh-ins and stuff like that? I really don't care. I think Topuria lights this dude up. Herbert's only shot is a lucky strike on this dude, and good luck, because he's just as fast as anybody in there. Now, the card market, neither guy is printed, but I'm pretty positive we're going to see Topuria printed here, and he's going to be chased.
Better.
You got to put a buy rating on this young guy. He is a stud. I normally don't like to put buy ratings before they're printed, but you got to have them. This kid he could be the next champ. Like, he is that talented so far. Herbert, with a loss here, may be close to getting cut. You don't want to take 3 losses out of your first 4 UFC.
Well, he's coming off a win.
Well, yeah, 1 win, but he got 2 before that. He's going to get another one. That's 3 out of 4 losses. You don't want to see that here. I got a don't buy on Herbert if we even see him. I don't know if we're going to see him. And we're going to cover one more fight. I know there's a few other monsters on here. We went back and forth on it, though. We're going to cover the bantamweights.
6 total, y'all. 6.
Jack Shore, 15-0. And what another prospect here. 27 years old. He's coming off that win against Ludovic Shalinin and Hunter Zhur. Basically, Hunter's out of the UFC. He retired him right there. He's going up against Timur Valiev, who's 32 years old. He's 18-2, and he's won 8 of his last 9 with 1 no contest to Trevin Jones. But I just want to throw it out there. Trevin Jones knocked him out and was overturned due to marijuana. So don't sleep. Trevin Jones got that win. It's kind of crappy. You see a no contest if you don't know what it's for. It was marijuana. It wasn't like real steroids or anything. All right, so Tom, undefeated Shore versus Volkov.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Diaz. He knows all about that, man. They basically ruined his career.
Yeah.
Took the prime out of his whole career. Jack Shore, the Welshman, on one side, 27 years old, 5'7" in height, 4-inch reach advantage over the Russian Dagestani Timur Valiyev, 32 years old, 5'5" in height. Jack Shore, 15-0-0, UFC 4-0. He's a black belt in BJJ, and he's coming off a unanimous decision win over Lidvik Shalinian in September 2021. Timur, on the other side, 18-2-0 with 1 no contest. UFC, I have to write it down. I saw his last fight. He won a majority decision win against Raoni Barcelos in June 2021. And, that could have easily went the other way. He was definitely on the ropes at one point. I'll give him one thing. Timur's got a lot of heart. He's over with, I think, that Frankie Edgar camp over in Jersey, Tom's River in New Jersey. So they come to fight. That's kind of like Renzo Gracie, Lynx, and all that. My pick, well, does any of this conflict, of course, again, play into preparation mindset? I don't really think so too much for Timur. He's Dagestani, and he's over in New Jersey training. Could the crowd come into play and just automatically try to go against him? Potentially, but I don't think that's really that uncommon for him. I think he'll fare well with that. I do think it'll be a crowd favorite, though, in Jack Shore, being that he's Welsh, and they'll definitely come out to rep. They have strong following, the Welsh, and they'll definitely be there to rep for him. Now, Timur, he's a master of sports in Sambo, international master of sports in pancration, and a brown belt in BJJ. So keep that in mind as well. He's got a good skill set there against the black belt Jack Shore in BJJ. Now, I think it's a great matchup, but I'm going to go with home field advantage in the Welshman Jack Shore, remaining undefeated and by decision, though. I think it's going to be – I'm not saying Timur can't be put out or submitted, because I think he could be, because I thought last fight
he got put out by Trevin Jones.
No, I know, and he came last fight. He came very close to being put out as well. But Jack Shore, I don't know how likely he is in his skill set to put him out.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely to be a submission or a decision, but I'm going to go with a decision.
All right, yeah, this is another very tough matchup. I'm leaning towards the underdog here, too. I like Jack Shore being at home. He's going to have that super pump when he comes out and everybody's cheering for him. I think Timur, though, I think he's got a few edges, but I think the crowd, the energy, all that goes to Shore. I think that matters here. Shore has good wrestling. He's got a good chin. He's improving everywhere. Every time we see him out there, he looks better and better. I mean, Timur's strong. He should win. I think he even takes round one. I think Shore just has that gas tank. I think he wears on him. And I think he just in and out a lot, because Timur's probably maybe a little better of a fighter, but I just think Shore being home is going to have more energy. Just going to point him up. I agree. Decision for Jack Shore at home. I mean, you watch some of his last fights. He's in and out, in and out. He's wily out there. Believe is good. He's talented. I got a tough time taking him in this one. Now, neither man's printed here. I got to imagine whichever one wins this, though, is going to start climbing the ranks. Believe's a pretty good prospect, 18-2. Shore will be 16-0. But we got time. We got time for both of them.
Well, that'll also be 5 in a row in the UFC for sure, which will put him right up there, taking the spot of Alex Caceres, who got his 6th, was nullified because he lost his last fight. So he had 5 in a row, and that was actually the 3rd best in the UFC. So Jack Shore could move up to equal that spot.
Yeah, we got time. We got time
or
to judge
depending
them,
on Allen, if Allen loses, it could bump him up to potentially in the top 2 if he wins.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll get you guys some card contests coming soon, and we'll see you on the next vid.